Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers, which includes the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. Now, this lesson is going to be based on the dangerous storms of the Lord that tore through central U.S. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and the Lord's will, you're edified. It says at least 2 people killed as dangerous storms tear through central U.S. with tornadoes and huge hail. Said a rash of ferocious storms ripped across the central U.S. overnight, spawning tornadoes and killing at least 2 people. The 2 deaths were reported in northwest Indiana, a spokesperson for the Lake Village Volunteer Fire Department said Wednesday. Right before 7 p.m. Tuesday, a large tornado hit our community, and it hit us hard, spokesperson Lori Postma said. Several people were hospitalized with injuries, officials said. When first responders made an early assessment overnight, they found total devastation, Lake Township Volunteer Fire Department Chief Rob Churchill said. There were houses that were collapsed. There were people trapped in houses. There's livestock loose, he said. Lake Villages has experienced a tornado. There's several houses that have been hit. A lot of damage. Please do not come here. Do not try to help, Newton County Sheriff Shannon Cawthron said in a video post from Lake Village, where at least one home appeared to be reduced to rubble behind him. Said as storms push east early Wednesday, the main concerns shift to flash flooding and damaging winds. Storms are ongoing from Texas to the Great Lakes, leaving more than 60,000 customers without power. More injuries and widespread damage were reported in parts of Illinois and Indiana, according to officials. A tornado tracked through the Kankakee, Illinois area Tuesday evening. Drone video from Kankakee County showed buildings torn apart and debris scattered across neighborhoods after a tornado moved through Tuesday evening. Emergency crews navigated the wreckage overnight with flashlights, stepping over splintered lumber and fallen trees as they searched damaged homes. Kankakee Mayor Christopher W. Curtis told CNN there are no deaths or missing people in the county, though 7 individuals sustained minor injuries. Several homes and commercial buildings were damaged, and multiple roads remain closed due to downed trees and power lines. Brandy Pepin said she had only minutes of warning before the storm reached her house. Her brother called to say he could see the tornado heading straight toward her home. Said, "Thank God," Pepin told CNN, "and I ran, grabbed my dog who was already in the closet where we go, down into the crawl space." Said literally pulled the door open. Said he fell into the crawl space and I went down there and we rode the tornado out. It was loud. Said there would be little bang bangs and then big ones, she said. You could just tell that there was debris hitting the house and hear things hitting the house. It was so loud. The Kankakee County Sheriff's Office activated its Emergency Operations Center and filed an emergency declaration with Illinois. Said, "I want to remind area residents to check on their neighbors and loved ones, but to avoid unnecessary travel, if at all possible," Sheriff Mike Downey said. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said he had been briefed on the storm damage and was monitoring the situation. Said keeping in our thoughts all Illinoisians impacted by the severe weather. We'll be here to help them recover, he said in a post on X. Earlier Tuesday evening, the same supercell produced a tornado that briefly touched down near Pontiac, Illinois. This tornadic supercell tracked east for over 2 hours from central Illinois through northern Indiana, eventually prompting a tornado emergency, the highest level of tornado warning for Knox, Indiana. It also dropped hail over 5 inches in diameter just south of Kankakee, which could set a new Illinois state record. Thunderstorms also impacted Chicago, where half-dollar-size hail fell. The Kansas City metro area reported hail up to 3.5 inches in diameter. Dallas-Fort Worth spent hours under a flash flood warning late Tuesday into the wee hours of Wednesday as storms parked over the area. Farther south, a tornado was observed near Dudley, Texas, and baseball-sized hail was reported in Buffalo Gap, Texas. 5 tornado watches were in effect for much of Tuesday evening, stretching from the Mexican border north to Michigan. Powerful storms could still be churning early Wednesday morning from the lower Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley, but a renewed threat is expected to develop in the afternoon. A widespread level 2 of 5 risk of severe thunderstorms is in place Wednesday for more than 55 million people from Texas and Louisiana to Pennsylvania. Damaging winds are the main threat with any storm Wednesday. A few tornadoes are possible, especially in the lower Mississippi Valley and parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. It says no widespread severe thunderstorms are expected Thursday. Yep, so more storms and tempests of the Lord. More destructive and deadly storms and tempests of the Lord. Psalms 9 and 16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. And that's right. The Heavenly Father is known by his judgment. And the Lord brought some heavy judgment to those people in the form of those tornadoes and that hail. Isaiah 29 and 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And the Lord did just that. He visited that area, or those different areas, with storms and tempests. In particular, those destructive tornadoes. And it caused a lot of destruction. People got wounded. Some people got killed. And this is the power of the Heavenly Father right here. You know, some people classify it as Mother Nature. But in reality, this is the work of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. He deserves all the credit because these are his storms and tempests. These are his judgments. Isaiah 28 and 2, Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And the Lord sent a destroying storm upon those areas, and he sent hail as well. See, this is why we say that there is no getting around these scriptures. the very things written in these scriptures are clearly coming to pass right before our eyes. So all of these wicked, simple-minded people who want to say that the scriptures are, make believe and it's not real. Like, all you have to do is just take a look around and you'll see that the things written in these scriptures are actually happening. Psalms 11:6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it means a violent windy storm, which could be a hurricane or a tornado. And the Lord sent several tornadoes upon those people. And these are exactly the type of events that the men of the Lord, starting of course with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been talking about for decades, saying that, they were going to increase. You see, people want to say, oh yeah, well, in the Midwest and in the South, tornadoes happen. That's just common. Yeah, but the frequency of these tornadoes is definitely increasing. I mean, 5 tornadoes spawning at the same time and things of that nature. That's not necessarily normal. But seeing as we are in the last days, those of us of the hopeful elect understand that the Lord is going to take these events that, in some places are common, and he's just going to crank them up several notches and intensify them by several notches as well. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that one woman in the article who was talking about that she, went into a crawl space with her dog after her brother called her and told her that he saw the tornado headed toward her house. She was afraid. She said that, while she was hiding with her dog, she could hear, debris hitting the house. That has to be a very terrifying experience. But this is what the Lord is doing. The Lord is bringing these terrifying, deadly, destructive events a lot more frequently than he used to. Because these are the last days, pertaining to 2 Timothy 3:1, that says, this know also, in the last days perilous times shall come. When you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. We are living in some incredibly dangerous times, and they're only going to become a lot more dangerous and scary. The Lord is not messing around. Like it says in Luke 21:22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. All the things that are written in these scriptures to come to pass is happening. The wars, the rumors of wars, the division amongst the people, the love of many waxing cold, the fires, the storms, the tempests, the earthquakes, and so many other things. There is no getting around it. All the people who don't believe in the scriptures and they don't believe that the Lord exists and all of that, those people are going to be the ones that get hurt and get killed, because they are not taking this seriously. They still think that this is a joke. They still think that this is a game. The Lord has never been playing with these people. And these destructive, deadly judgments are signs that the Lord is not playing. But that's just a lesson that these wicked people will continue to have to learn the hard way. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And through His judgments, the Lord kills and wounds wicked people that He is angry with every day. And as we get further and further into these last days, the Lord is going to kill and wound more and more people. More wicked men, more wicked women, more wicked children. And the Lord is going to cause a lot more destruction within these different countries, these different cities, different towns, different neighborhoods. And there will be no recovering from this destruction. And the men of the Lord, through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we're going to continue to prophesy about these things. We're going to continue to blow the trumpet until the Lord stops us. But once the Lord stops the men of the Lord from blowing the trumpet, you know it's game over after that. And that's when these wicked, simple-minded people who want to scoff and scorn and not take this seriously, that's when they're going to wake up. That's when they're going to realize, something's wrong. When they no longer see brothers' videos, and when they no longer see the men of the Lord out there on the highways and hedges. And that time is approaching. Very soon, the Lord is going to remove the men of the Lord off the highways and hedges, and the Lord is going to have Esau shut down the internet. So anybody who didn't get this truth, anybody who was playing around the whole time, hey, that's going to be it for you. Because these people right now, they're sitting around and they're like, yeah, I'll get to it when I feel like it. And it's like, that's not how this truth works. Getting this truth is a limited time offer. And those of y'all that want to keep playing around, you're running out of time. And that time is moving faster and faster every day. But hey, those who are meant to get it are going to get it. The Lord is going to allow them to. And those who are not meant to get it, hey, to put it frankly, your ass is grass. Because if the Lord don't want you getting this truth, if He's not going to open your mind to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, then He ain't dealing with you. He doesn't deem you worthy of having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, which means more than likely you're wicked and you're going to get destroyed. It is very, very serious out here. And that's something that those of us of the Hopeful Elect have got to keep in mind. We can't slip up and go back into the world, because nothing but death and destruction and violence and chaos and misery is set for those people. We got to hold on to these scriptures, hold on to the words of the Lord. And stay prayed up. Stay circumspect. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, putting the Spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere believers. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah, which means Lord's will. Until next time, Shalom.